We're missing this one. What if Deku had Estarossa's abilities? Now, this will be a villain what if. Yes, this will be completely villainous. Now, our story starts off similar to how I did the first time. Inko gives birth to one baby, and that one baby splits off into two parts. Splitting the positive half going to Mile, which that's going to be his name because I don't feel like thinking of one, and the negative part, basically the negative emotions, all the other ones, going to Deku, which we're just going to call him Estarossa. Well, his name is Estarossa, but we're just going to call him Deku. But yeah, basically, they split in half when they were born. They clone. They're basically just two clones. They split in half, one being the negative and one being the positive. That's all you guys need to know. There, I just built a basis. Now this is what if Deku had Estarossa's abilities. Let us get into it. Now, if you don't know what Estarossa's abilities are, then you'll just find out throughout the series. But yeah, anyway, now, basically Deku and Mael, they would grow up together. Now, Inko, her son just was born with his quirk, that it had something to do with splitting, but then she realized that, they're not going back together. And she realized this, after 2 months. And she was waiting for them to, come back together. She just thought it had a really long, time. But, yeah, it never happened. So she had 2 sons. She had to go get the other one registered as an actual human being. Now, anyway, basically, we would get to their quirk awakenings. Yeah, let's just skip that far. Now, Deku, their quirks will their quirks will awaken somewhat how I did it in the actual story, or the first time I did it. Basically, Estarossa's quirk awakens with him using sunshine, and Deku's, basically his quirk awakens, and it's nothing but just darkness. Actually, yeah, we're gonna give him darkness in this one, because Estarossa never had darkness, but we're gonna say that he was born with it this time. So, yeah, his hand was just oozing out this liquid, or it wasn't liquid. People see it as a type of liquid, but it was just oozing out this black darkness. So, yeah, people thought, they're twin brothers, so maybe, their quirks have to do with sunlight and, darkness or something. But, yeah. Now, basically, Deku's personality, this personality he can't really control, because you remember he has all the negative parts of a human or a person, with Mile having all the positive parts, making him basically everyone around him basically everyone he talks to like him almost instantly. But Deku, he's not so lucky. Deku, he has a sadistic personality. He's dark, and people from time to time can see him as purposely stepping on a bug or just killing a spider by plucking legs off. So people were like, yeah, let's just stay away from him. But, Mael, he stuck with Deku. Because, brothers before hoes. I'm just kidding. But basically, Mael, he would stick with Deku when they grow up. But Deku has never really had any friends. Now we would skip to 6th grade. Deku he has not ever had a friend. He's never made a friend. And basically, the only friend he's actually had, which he can't really consider a friend because they're brothers, is his brother, which he thinks is his brother. But, they're just one person. Can't wait to have them split back together. But anyway, basically, yeah. Now, they have been showing signs of other things. Just a few months ago, Estarossa, or Deku, he grew these dark wings with basically, I'm going to call him or Mael. I'm pretty sure I'm saying that right. But, yeah, basically, Mael, he grew angelic type wings, and Deku had these, dark ones that can only be formed with his darkness. But yeah, now that just put a sign that this guy has some type of villainous quirk. Now Deku, who also, if he focused hard enough, And if he focused his darkness in one point, could create that little sign up there you see. But yeah, that's where he holds like legit all of his darkness. So people think that he has a tattoo. But yeah. Now, Mael, he would be training with his sunshine. He would be able to create, well, a cruel sun, although it wouldn't be that big. He can create one. He also has the ability to detonate it at will. And that was from, when he awoke in his quirk when he was 5, all the way to 6th grade. And Deku, he found out about his ability to physically full counter physical attacks. It happened one day when him and his brother, they were, sparring, with quotations. I mean, they don't know how to spar, but Mael just said, why don't we fight each other so we can train for heroes, which, Deku, he's becoming a hero because, or he has the mindset of becoming a hero because, why not? Although this is a villain what if, just to let you know again, basically, Deku, he would be fighting with Mael. They would be, punching each other, not using their quirks, just trying their best to imitate a spar. But, yeah, now Mael, he would go to throw a punch at Deku, with Deku being, or just sitting on the ground, him grabbing something near him, and swiping it at Mael's hand. With Mael getting, or feeling something just hit him in the face, although it was invisible, but he felt the force 2 times his own strength, which would probably break his own nose. Super strength. But Mael's like, what was that? And he's like, Deku, you have a quirk, or another ability. But Deku's saying, oh, yeah. And basically, yeah. Now, things start to take a turn when Mael's quirk actually starts to, evolve. Mael's personality would start to change during the day, which would ultimately lead to him somewhat dissing Deku, saying, where when Deku would make a remark about, them being equal in something, Mael in his daytime would say, who decided that? With Deku just sitting there, just looking at him, like, oh, alright. I mean, I guess no one really decided it, but, yeah. Now, basically, Mael's personality would somewhat start to change even more during the day, with him being extremely cocky and more prideful. And yeah, people just found it weird, as Mael would explain that it's just a part of his quirk, which Deku's just like, huh. Now we would be skipping to the end of middle school. Actually, we're gonna skip to the beginning of middle school. Now, basically, Deku, he got even distant, like, him and his brother got distant now, so he barely talks to him at home or at school. You can barely see these two together. Although Mael tries to apologize during night, Deku's like, yeah, don't worry about it. And yeah, now, would Deku feel any type of affection for Inko or Mael? I mean, he has all of the worst parts of a human, all of the bad emotions, greed, hate, and all those other things. But, I mean, I guess we can not have him be a complete monster. Let's just say that, Estarossa, he had that love for Meliodas to the point where when he killed Meliodas, he cried. So we're just gonna assume that he'll kill them. But, he'll cry afterwards. We'll just say that. But anyway, yeah. Now, basically, he's not been talking with Inko or Mael, which Hasashi's out of the picture in this one. Basically, yeah, Inko, she's, getting a little bit worried about her child. With Deku, basically, yeah. Now, one day, while they're walking to school on their second day of middle school, basically, Deku, he would be saying a bunch of stuff about how, basically, he doesn't like that cocky personality, or that, which our boy, Mael, who is taller than Deku at this point, he would say, it's not cocky, it's called being prideful. And then he would look down at Deku, saying, you wouldn't understand that, would you? And then Deku would be somewhat just angry. I mean, he has those bad emotions, remember? They're all uncontrolled. Now, the bad emotions, I mean, Mael, he has all the good emotions other than pride, because I'm pretty sure pride is a sin for some reason. But yeah, anyway. Sorry. Basically, yeah. Now, some words would be said between the two of them, what would ultimately be brought out into a fight. Now, I don't really know what to have dialogue go on between these two, because I've already had dialogue between these two before, and I don't want to really copy much. But let's just say, Mael being prideful, saying that he's stronger than Deku, and he's gonna be number one, with Deku saying whatever. And then he would basically just look at him, saying, if you're so strong, why don't we test it out, Mr. Prideful? With, yeah. Now, a couple of students nearby would have heard these two have their dialogue, and they would be like, oh crap, we have to tell everybody. Which then, some tweets would go out, and they would be amping up the fight, saying that that Mael is gonna win this fight, and yeah, Deku just sitting in the back of the classroom, alone, just listening. Now, basically after being, people telling Mael that he's stronger than Deku, Deku would basically be like, huh. Now, after class, which a few teachers who got this information from, those freaking tattletellers, basically they would be like, Midoriya, or basically, Mael or Deku, they would ask if they could stay here for a little bit. Now, they would be talking about that we heard the information that you two are going to be fighting, which is not okay, especially when you two are brothers. With Mael just getting up, walking out. Now, while he's walking out, he would bump into someone. His childhood friend, Kachan. Huh. Yeah, why not? But anyway, basically, Deku would look down at Bakugo, she would start to say, you're going to be fighting Mael, huh? Yes, Bakugo's a female. I haven't gender been in a while, so might as well. But yeah, don't worry. It won't be a ship between Deku or Bakugo. Well, that's undecided. I guess it'll be a ship between, the fusion. But, I don't really know. Deku probably won't even have a ship in this due to his personality. I mean, I guess he would just, I don't really know, but I guess he would lust after someone or a woman because Deku ain't gay. But I don't really know if Deku would actually love anybody other than his brother or mother. So yeah, No, anyway, basically, she would be like, "You're gonna be fighting your brother, huh?" Then she's like, "You're gonna get your ass kicked. You know that, right?" With Deku saying, "Oh, why is that, Bakugo?" With basically her saying that, first of all, he gets stronger during the daytime, and if you don't notice, or if you haven't noticed, the sun's directly above, meaning that I'm pretty sure he's at his most, or at his peak, when the sun's, directly above the sky, with, Deku saying, "You sure know a lot about my brother. Anything I should know about?" With her saying, "Nothing." My ex Bakugo, by the way. Their quirks are just, somewhat similar. So, yeah. Which she's like, "Nah." With Deku saying, whatever. He can't beat me. That's all you need to know. Now, after, Deku walked away, prideful Mael would walk out saying, "I don't need to listen to that shrivel," as they would go to the spot. Now, Mael would grab his, kendo stick, as Deku would grab his, since, Deku's his strongest with a weapon. So, Deku's like, "So, brother," as they would look around, and there are a lot of people from their school just, sitting. They're at Dagobah Beach, by the way, which in this timeline doesn't get dirtied. But, yeah. Now, basically, Deku, he's, he's playing with the end of his kendo stick. And basically, Mael's like, "So, are we gonna start this?" As Deku saying, "You know what, sure thing, brother." As Deku would just look towards Estarossa, Deku would look towards Mael, as he would jump forward and punch Mael in the face, sending him flying towards the stairs, which he would ultimately destroy because, Mael hit it, and they both have super strength speed, by the way. So, after Deku did that, he would jump forward again, appearing right in front of Mael, kicking him or basically upwards by hitting him in the chin, and Mael sending fly, sorry about that stutter there, disgusting stutter. Basically, he punches Mael into a wall, he jumps forward, and he kicks Mael in the face, sending him flying upwards. So people are like, that's a cheap move. And then someone else would comment like they barely even saw it, with Deku basically saying, so much for that pride, huh? Which, Mael landing. Now, Mael would get up, because he did land on his back, and basically he would look towards, Deku saying, And actually, I'm gonna say that Mael is still laying down. Deku walks over, and he's like, so, what's up with that pride now? As he would just, he's just looking at our boy. But, yeah, something would happen with Mael throwing a punch at Deku, with Deku blocking it, and, falling to the ground, somewhat feeling the force behind that punch. Now, when he looks back up, Mael has his kendo stick up as he takes it down for a huge swing. Now, when this swing, or when this stick hits the ground, basically a huge dust would start to kick up, and a loud noise would be heard throughout their area, with Deku somewhat full countering it. Physical full counter, by the way. He can't full counter quirks. But, after Mael, got, the force of his own hit, basically he's like, that's a really, really sticky ability you have there. But, now Mael would jump forward as their fight would continue, with them basically fighting with a kendo stick, basically blocking and countering, as Deku would land another punch on Mael's face, with him saying, for someone who's, power, or basically very powerful, you have a lot of weight behind your punch, you're not really fast. As basically you'd finish off punching our boy Mael in the stomach. Now Mael was like, as basically he would put something towards, basically this small little dot of light towards our boy Deku's stomach. Sorry, I keep getting them mixed up for some reason. As this thing would start to expand, as Deku would start to feel a burning sensation near his stomach as he sent flying. As basically this ball of fire would start to get bigger and bigger and bigger before Mael put his hand out and said Pride Flare, squeezing his hand, and it would detonate, as the explosion would create glass throughout the area. Now Deku, who was laying on the ground with burnt skin and burnt clothes, basically he's like, he wasn't expecting that. Now Mael would just be like, as people are like, whoa, didn't he take that a little too serious? He's actually burnt. With Mael just saying, don't worry about it, our healing capabilities would kick in soon. With him just walking over saying, as basically Deku would get up saying that this isn't over. With him jumping forward and Mael putting his hand out, as basically he just formed a cruel sun, with Deku using his darkness, blocking or just covering the sun completely, saying that he's got you, your sunlight will never escape this darkness, with Mael saying, you guys know the phrase. Who decided that? As his sunlight would burst through the darkness, and he would basically throw it at Deku, as Deku was hit with another cruel sun, and he's being flung towards the ocean this time. Now, when he hits the water, a lot of it would start to steam up, as Deku, he's now basically just floating to the bottom. Now, he wasn't thrown out that far, so the water's still shallow, but So after Deku just lost this fight, now, basically, Mael's like, and he would walk away. Now, Mael and Deku, if you guys did not know, Mael, I would probably place him as strong, if not stronger than I would say he's half as strong. No, because he was at his peak. We're gonna say that Mael and Deku, they are both as strong as, I don't really know. I was gonna say All Might Prime, but that would just, I don't really know. we're just gonna say for now that Mael and Deku were both as strong as All Might Prime. So yeah. So because I don't want to downgrade Mael, who has Sunshine, by the way, who was at his peak because the sun was above him, by the way. Yeah. And also Deku, who I don't want to make weak, but who is weaker than Mael because, Mael just won the fight and he has Sunshine. And Estarossa lost to, our boy Escanor. But Mael knows how to use Sunshine better than Escanor. But yeah. Now, basically, yeah, Mael, he would win the fight. And Deku, he would just be, just floating in sorrow and just lost. So, yeah. Now, Bakugo, who, she's not, a bad person, per se, in this. She would jump into the water, grabbing Deku, and bringing him to shore. She's like, I told you, you bastard, you got my clothes wet. And I told you that you weren't gonna win. Why would you fight him at his peak? With, just Deku just laying there. Just with his eyes wide. And basically, he's just lost in thought. Like, what? I got my ass beat in front of all these people. This is gonna be floating around social media. What? And then basically Bakugo would slap his ass back into existence. Now, basically Deku, he would get up. And he's like, actually, the shit between... I might have a love triangle. Why not? Mael, Bakugo, Deku, Bakugo. Mael and Deku, they're basically gonna fuse nearing the half mark of this series. So I guess I could just do a love triangle for now. But, I don't really know. We're not really gonna get much into romance now. So I'll just leave it to you guys in the comments below. So, yeah. But yeah, you guys decide whether or not it should be a love triangle for now, because Mael and Deku are going to fuse at nearing the end of the series, or nearing the halfway mark, meaning that, yeah. So, basically, depending on how boring this might get, I might continue it, but yeah. Anyway, basically Deku, after, Bakugo slapped him, he would grab Bakugo by her hand, and he would say, did I look pathetic? What? This is because he has all the bad emotions within a human. And, of course, he has the fear. He has fear, which is a normal emotion that humans should have. He has fear. He has, lust. He has pride, which is a sin. Basically, his entire life is a sin. Everything he does is sin. And, yeah. So, he has a lot of terrible emotions, but he can still feel fear. And he still has pride, so his pride is fucking destroyed. And he's like, Bakugo. And she's like, get off of me. But Mael would walk over saying, pathetic. With Deku, after hearing those words, his mind would shatter, and he's just left sitting there. Now, basically Bakugo would somewhat manage to get away, and she would be like, And she would walk away, with Mael just looking at his brother and going home. He would say that he'll be at home and not to sweat it much. It's not like he stood much of a chance anyway. With Mael just sitting there. Now, once a lot of people left, Mael is still sitting there. It's basically sundown right now, so yeah. Basically, Mael is just, sitting at this one area, just looking at the setting sun. As he's just sitting there, hasn't even spoken a word. His expression went from just, flat out disbelief into a normal, calm, bland face. So, yeah, he's staring at the sunset as someone would near him. Someone is barely, they're trying to put their full hand on Deku's shoulder, which Deku could feel the killer intent with him grabbing this person's hand, flinging them forward, and basically just doing a sort of slam, with them hitting the water, saying, ow. Now, Deku would look at this weird, crackhead-looking female, as he's like, what are you doing? And he's like, why did I feel so much killer intent from you? With her basically just saying, well, I was just trying to, give you a handshake, but, as basically she would put her finger on Deku's, near his vein in his hand, as Deku, he would somewhat just let her go, because nothing really happened, so he was like, I don't understand why She was trying to put her full hand on me, but nothing happened, so whatever. As he would tell her not to, that he wouldn't, what he would tell her if he felt that amount of bloodlust towards him again, that he would just kill her right here and now and call it self-defense. With her saying, whoa, you're not afraid of killing someone, are you? With Deku saying, nah, I'm not afraid to take a life. With her just sitting next to him saying, so, how was that ass whooping? With Deku just looking at her saying, oh, you saw that, huh? I call hacks. With her saying, hacks, huh? Yeah, he was cheating. Both using gamer references, but yeah. Now, anyway. Shigaraki, by the way. Yeah, Shigaraki. You guys should know. Full hand, like, I've already foreshadowed this, like, the entire time. But yeah. No, Shigaraki's like, huh. Well, that's just sad. She's like, well, he has hacks, and I have a way for you to achieve greater power if you so choose. She's like, I mean, you'll just have to abandon your dreams of becoming a hero. With Deku looking down at her like, huh, I already abandoned those a long time ago. As he's thinking back to something, and he would, somewhat regain his, focus. And she's like, oh, so that's a deal then. And she would say, well, my two bosses, one of them has a very powerful quirk that allows them to steal and bestow quirks. As my other boss, he has the ability to grant one power to one person. This power can somewhat be seen as a curse due to the effects that it has on someone. As she would start to smile, she would say that he calls it a commendment. With Deku saying a commendment, she's like, one of those? I'm pretty sure I heard of them before. And she's like, yeah. Now, as the two of them would somewhat start talking, with Deku hearing what this strange person has to say, and yeah, we'll be ending this video off here. Like I said, it could be a love triangle, or I can just end up shipping Deku with no one, or I could ship him with Shigaraki, the crackhead, which, just hope that she doesn't grab his penis with all 5 fingers. But yeah, anyway, sorry. But we're gonna go with, love triangle, no ship, or just, anyone else. But yeah, goodbye. The next part I'll do will be 40 to 50 minutes long, and yeah.